Oh, yeah. I guess I got to stop ignoring COVID completely and make a coherent policy about how things are right now, mostly with visiting this location, and how I see them developing over time. Let's start with over time. I've been really right on my predictions so far on this epidemic. I have not published them, so I can't prove that. But I had someone I talked to for like a year when it was first getting going, really. And I remember my predictions and why I made them, and they're mostly coming true. I still believe that there is a possibility that did come from a laboratory. I have no reason to think anyone is lying to me about that or not. It doesn't really matter ultimately. It's a little late. The obvious solution is to realize that we have a fragile system. Stop fucking improving evil bugs. Just stop doing that kind of science. You fucking madman genetic engineer. Genetic engineering is a horrible idea. Maybe it's acceptable in certain cases, and we could definitely talk about that and debate about it. I know enough of the science to not say dumb things. I'm not a dumbass, and I don't want an impoverished world, but I also don't want one that dies because of one tiny bug that we fucking engineer and then a mistake happens. Everybody always says, oh, that we won't make a mistake. And that's what they said before they made the fucked up mistake that, blew up a rocket or created a superbug that killed all of humanity. History is filled with many technological mistakes. What was that big explosion in India? It killed a bunch of people, some big chemical factory or something. That's very unpleasant. Now, the difference is with genetics is we make a tiny bug and it only takes one to get out. That's it. And we don't have all of our systems figured out. I mean, making IC chips is done in a sterile room with huge controls, and those can get contaminated. And those are big money on the line. So I don't know that we can put the genie back in the bottle because people can now edit genes in many places all around the world with a machine called CRISPR. And that's spelled something. I think it's missing an E. Anyway, it's a machine that makes it really easy to do genetic engineering. And the thing is, it's a lot easier. Well, most of the organisms people can make will just die because they didn't evolve in any space and they don't fit into any system and so forth. But it should be quite easy to take any disease we want and make a bunch of versions of it and then see which ones kill as much stuff as possible in different ways. I still haven't got to my policy on COVID, but what my point is that this is going to happen more. It's going to happen more, not just naturally, but shit is hitting the fan as far as our risk to genetic mutants of all kinds. And I'm not worried that we're going to make dinosaurs and make a cool island. Jurassic Park sounds great. I think, recreating a dinosaur is great. Recreate a woolly mammoth using a gestation within an elephant. I don't know, try stuff. I don't give a shit about the bigger organisms that much, even though those make better movies. It's the wee beasties that are going to kill us. And COVID's a great example of that. We are so connected now that even places that tried to isolate themselves pretty damn well and had good policies and did a good job, even they get infected. Everyone's going to get infected with COVID. So this is what I see long term, is that we're going to look at something kind of like influenza. The weakest are going to get killed out. The people who are immune to symptoms, and there supposedly is a genetic component that somebody wrote a paper, they believe that there's a genetic component to being completely resistant to the disease. Well, it depends on the number of deaths and it depends on what kind of treatments we can come up with, but it's very likely that COVID's going to be around for a very long time. That's my belief. And so I have to make a long-term plan for how we deal with an environment in which any epidemic could happen. How can I design a culture where we treat products and contact with other people and groups in ways that reduce, basically, let's be germ phobic. I've never been germ phobic in my life. I drink unfiltered rainwater. Sometimes it has red wiggling worms in it and I just drink them. I just don't give a shit. I looked them up. They're fine. But I'm not germ phobic, but I think I've become germ phobic on the bigger sense. I believe that for a while, because of COVID directly, that could be the excuse, but I believe longer term that we need to live in smaller groups that have close contact and have very careful contact between groups. Now, because I'm always thinking about the bosque, I'm imagining like more kitchens in remote places and better camping at each kind of site. In other words, make theme camps that have a certain kind of people that tend to like each other. There could be a variety of kinds of themes. It could just be people from a certain place. It could be people from Guadalajara. They all camp in one place. It's actually a pretty brilliant idea for places like Mexico City, Guadalajara. That's a great idea. Because I have group camping spots. Mostly they're grown over, and I'd have to redo them, and I'd have to put in some benches and a comfort station maybe, or have it be near one. But anyway, I could make 30 group camping spots quite easily. Name them all, define their activities for them. And so some people would want to camp with people geographically from where they're from, because also in terms of transportation, sharing of resources, all year long contact, new friendships, have people camp with people of their geography. And maybe that's even true. I've always lumped Europeans all as a big thing, and the US is all a big thing and stuff. And Canada's in there in South America. But there's a big advantage to making sure that people from the same part of the world really meet each other deeply. Of course, there can be other types of theme camps based on function, theater camp, alien camp. Everybody dresses as an alien. I don't know. There's pretty much, think about an infinite number of those. You could just use the Burning Man theme camp lists from every possible year and just go through and start circling them and or cut and paste them or something. Rate them, put them all in a spreadsheet, and say how that type of camp could or could not exist here. Because really, the more of those I have, each one is a marketing vector, really, and it also increases people's ability to work together. So we'll see.